shloke
Bhakti Bhavaiti Nestiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Nestaki.
So here we shall read first line. Iti abhivyah art. Iti abhivyaritam tasyaha.
Yeah, 14.
Oh,
this is 13.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. Iti abhivyaritam tasya akanyasura pungavaha apramana vidastasyas tat lateti anva mamsataha. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The chiefs of the demons were not very expert in deciding things. Upon hearing the sweet words of Mohinimurti, they immediately assented. Yes, they answered. What have you said is all right. Thus, the demons agreed to accept her decision. Now, text 14. Atoposya kritasnanaha.
Atopasya kritasnanaha.
Atoposya kritasnanaha.
Atopasya kritasnanaha.
Udvacha avisanahalam.
Udvacha avishanalam.
Udvacha avisanalam.
Udvacha avisanalam.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Kritasvatyasya vijay.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
Kritasvatyayana vijay.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
Atoposya kritasnana.
Atopasya kritasnana.
Udvacha avisanalam.
Udvacha avishanalam.
Dadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Dadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Kritasvatyayana vijay.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
Atoposya kritasnana.
Atopasya kritasnana.
Udvacha avisanalam.
Udvacha avishanalam.
Dadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Kritasvatyayana vijay.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
Devotees.
Atoposya kritasnana.
Atopasya kritasnana.
Udvacha avishanalam.
Udvacha avishanalam.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
Atopasya kritasnana.
Atopasya kritasnana.
Udvacha avishanalam.
Udvacha avishanalam.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Tadvago viprabhutebhyaha.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
Kritasvastyayana vijay.
So I shall read the rest of the verse. Verse 15 actually. Yatopa josamba samsi paridyaya hatanite kusheshu pravisam sarve prak agreshu abhibhusitaha. Word by word. Ata. Thereafter. Uposya. Observing a fast. Kritasnana. Performing bathing. Udvaha. Offering oblations. Cha. Also. Avishaha. With clarified butter. Analam. Into the fire. Tadvaha. Giving in charity. Govi Prabhutebhya. Unto the cows. Brahmanas,
Brahmanas,
and living beings in general.
and living beings in general.
Krita Svatyayanaha,
Kritasvatayana,
performing ritualistic ceremonies.
performing ritualistic ceremonies.
Vijay,
Vijay,
as dictated by the Brahmanas.
as dictated by the Brahmanas.
Yata Upajosam,
Yatavajosham,
according to one's taste.
According to one's taste,
Vasamsi,
Vasamsi,
garments.
garments,
Paridaya,
Paridaya,
putting on.
putting on,
Hatatani,
ahatani,
first class and new.
first class and new,
Te,
te,
all of them.
all of them.
Kusheshu,
Kusheshu,
on seats made of kusha grass.
all seats made of kusha grass.
Pravisham,
Rasham,
sitting on them.
sitting on them,
Sarve,
sarve,
all of them.
all of them,
Priyak Agreshu,
prak agreshu,
facing east.
facing east,
Abhibhushita,
Abhibhushita,
properly decorated with ornaments.
properly decorated with ornaments.
ornaments.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The demigods and demons then observed a fast. After bathing, they offered clarified butter and oblations into the fire and gave charity to the cows and to the brahmanas and members of the other orders of society, namely the kshatriyas, vaishyas, and shudras, who were all rewarded as they deserved. Thereafter, the demigods and demons performed ritualistic ceremonies under the directions of the brahmanas. Then they dressed themselves with new garments according to their own choice, decorated their bodies with ornaments, and sat facing east on seats made of kusha grass. Purport. The Vedas enjoin that for every ritualistic ceremony, one must first become clean by bathing either in the water of the Ganges or Yamuna or in the sea. Then one may perform the ritualistic ceremony and offer clarified butter to the fire. In this verse, the words paridaya ahatani are especially significant. A sannyasi or a person about to perform a ritualistic ceremony should not dress himself in clothing sewn with a needle. Om Agyana Tivirandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Saksu Sumitam Tena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Davati Svapatantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kachana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai. So here the great story of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is going on. So it is in the context of the churning of the ocean of milk, which is an episode between demigods and demons. Actually, the story takes place in this context, and it is very nice to see that it is actually the symbol of the eternal, we can say, division of the world between two sides. That is to say, the Suras and the Devatas, and the Asuras. In previous times, previous ages, demigods, Asuras were in other planetary systems, universes. Then, little by little, they approached. In other ages, still, they arrived in other planets. Then they arrived on planet Earth. And now, in the age of Kali, demons are inside ourselves. Every one of us has got an angel side and a demon side. And the whole purpose of spiritual life is to put away the Asura side of ourselves and to elevate ourselves to the divine side, and to be in position to serve the lotus feet of the spiritual master and Lord Krishna. So, in the previous verse 13, it was explained that the Asuras were completely actually confused, which is actually a sign of the age of Kali. Especially, it was not only the Asuras, but the chiefs, the main Asuras were in confusion, which obviously we can see it as a sign that in this age of Kali, persons who are in position of power are completely confused. We are not going here to put a list of everything which is going wrong in our present government in this age of Kali, because it would take quite a long time. Just have to watch TV and see the news, and you have an opinion on how people decide. They are always, anyway, on the wrong path, as long as they don't follow the path of spiritual life, which is described in the scriptures. It is true also that the demons, in the situation we are, were put especially in confusion, but by a very special person. A very special person, and this person is actually the Lord himself. So the demons we see here are also quite special demons, in one sense, because even though they were demons, still they could have the darshan of the Supreme Lord. You see, it's quite a very special thing. Not everyone can be in position to see the Lord face to face. Mm-hmm. And actually, for us as junior devotee, this is just what we expect, to see one day the Lord face to face. There is the prayer by George Harrison, "Really want to see you, Lord." Oh, my Lord, my sweet Lord. We should follow in this way, in the footsteps of this elder devotee. Actually, as far as the darshan of the Lord is concerned, we can recall a story which took place ages ago in Vrindavan Dham. At the time of Rasa Lila dance, for some times, the damsels of Braj, that is to say the gopis, were put in separation of the Lord. They were looking after the Lord. It was at the time of Rasa dance. They had been separated for some times. They were in full lamentation, and they were searching all around the forest of Vrindavan, trying to see the Lord. And at what point they met Lord Narayan with 4 arms, but they didn't recognize Krishna, actually. Excuse me, sir, beg your pardon, did you see by any chance Lord Krishna around? You see, they were put in transcendental confusion, and couldn't see Lord Krishna. Because for the devotee, actually, the most important thing is to see Lord Krishna, to have the darshan of Lord Krishna. Even Lord Narayan is something, for all of us, it's quite something which is inconceivable. Just if we one day meet Lord Narayan with 4 arms right in front of us, maybe we shall faint, we shall fall down or whatever. But for the gopis, who are in complete Devi Prakriti, who are completely in Antaranga Shakti, they just couldn't even appreciate the four-armed form of Lord Narayan. You see, so here now there is yes. Ramadimurti Kaleme Yanatistam, Manavakat Akarot Bhuvenukitu, Krishna Svayam Samabhavat Puramyo, Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Actually, Lord Krishna is the source of all avatars. And says Brahma Samhita, and Mohinimurti is a sublime form of Lord Krishna in an expected form. And therefore she has all the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is why, actually, the demons here were put in a very, very special confusion. So now, as the story goes on, the demons have accepted the instructions given by Mohinimurti. They haven't realized yet that they are going to be cheated. And they are going to perform a Vedic ceremony. Here we see again that the demons, although they may be demons, are going to perform a Vedic ritualistic sacrifice. It is true that sacrifices or recommendations given by the Veda are for persons who are still under the modes of the material modes of material nature. Traigunya Visaya Veda. You remember the rest of the verse? Traigunya Visaya Veda. Is Traigunya Vavarjuna, Nirbanda Nyatsavasto, Nyaridam Shema Atmavam. That is to say, the 3 modes of material nature are for persons who are in the material world, and every activity is in the spell of the modes of material nature. Although it is a very Vedic ceremony, still it is the influence, under the influence of the modes of material nature. And it is said in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right at the conclusion, verse 40, Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter which summarizes the whole Bhagavad Gita, that everyone in this material world is under the influence of the modes of material nature. So the demons here, they are under the modes of material nature, and they are going to make a special Vedic sacrifice. We have to understand that the demons, say again, are special demons. Big demons of the previous ages, such as Ravan and others, they knew what was going on in the Vedas, and they knew the ritualistic ceremonies. So, in one sense, they were really on the way of spiritual, on the spiritual path of elevation. Because it is explained that actually, although sacrifices, Vedic sacrifices, are most of the times given in favor of the demigods, by making a sacrifice, a Vedic sacrifice for the demigods, still you are making some advancement. Why? Because if you put a sacrifice to the demigods, you accept that there is a spiritual authority. And this is the first step for further spiritual realization. Of course, Sri Krishna explained in the Bhagavad Gita that it is only people who have a very low brain, no intelligence, who give, actually offer sacrifices, Vedic sacrifices, Vedic ritualistic ceremonies to the demigods. Still, and why? Yes, because demigods can only grant temporary and very limited benedictions. And there is a proverb in French, I don't know the translation in English, but still we prefer to serve God than the saints. Yeah. Il vaut mieux offrir les prières à Dieu, mieux vaut s'adresser à Dieu qu'à ses saints. We should offer prayer better to God than to the saints. Saints here, or saintly persons, are referred here as demigods. Of course, if you want to have a special boon, you prefer to go directly to the President of the Republic or to the King, rather than to the Prime Minister, who may have some power but still limited potency. So anyway, as we see here, to perform a sacrifice, a Vedic sacrifice, there are rules to be followed. The first one here, as we see, is to observe a fast. A fast for purification. The whole process of spiritual life is about purification. Purification, and fast is definitely a way to purify oneself. In Krishna consciousness, as it is explained by Srila Prabhupada, we have to fast in every kind of circumstances, in very important occasions, on the appearance day of great, or disappearance day of great personalities, the spiritual master, advanced and senior devotees, spiritual masters, the advent of the Lord, Lord Krishna, even Lord Ram, Sri Krishna Janmashtami, and some other occasions. Because fasting actually purifies the mind, purifies the body, and by purifying the body, it helps to clarify the mind. But a fast, of course, should be followed not only for the sake of fasting, but also to remember the Lord, and fasting means that we diminish the needs of the body, and we give more time then to remember the Lord and to do practical seva for the Lord. I remember when I was in the Bhakta program a few years ago, there was one devotee, a young Bhakta among us, who on the day of Ekadashi, he would fast really hard. He would do the fast the whole day in Nirjal, but actually he was spending all the day on his bed, and he was half dying, we can say. And therefore the Bhakta leader told him, "Come on, baby, come on, come on, boy. No, if it is like this, please don't fast. You follow the normal Ekadashi fast, no grains, no cereals, but please wake up and go and clean the temple room, please. Otherwise, no need. If it's just like this, it is a show, my dear. It is a show of fasting. No, and also, it is not that when you are making a fast, it's not that actually we are making a show. Hey, look, I'm fasting. See, just see how elevated I am. I'm fasting. No, it's okay. It's our relationship between ourselves and the Lord, and that's it. And that's it. Still, fast is important. It clarifies the body. It's even healthy because it helps sometimes to clarify all the surplus we have in the body, the intestine and so on and so forth. It is very nice to fast. And on the day of initiation, for instance, we are supposed to fast, which is an important thing. Then we have it is said that we have to perform bathing, and bathing is also very important. The power of the purificatory power of water, which is very, very important. And it is said that in the commentary given by Srila Prabhupada, that we should bath in a special place, in a special river. And that is to say Ganges or Yamuna or even the sea. It is true that when we perform ritualistic ceremonies, or even when we perform puja, we use only sacred water. And the Brahmins, the pujaris who go on the altar, they know that when we don't have really water which has been taken from the holy Ganges or holy Yamuna or the sacred rivers, we have a special mantra in which we invite all the rivers to please come in the pot, so that we can serve and offer only sacred water to Lord Krishna to perform his bath every day. You see? Importance of clarified butter is given here. Yes, again an idea of purification, because clarified butter is butter which is clarified, in which all impurities have been taken away. It is true also that in India, as long as the weather is generally very hot, it is true that we cannot keep butter in his original form. Otherwise, it will spoil very easily. And in previous ages, it is true that maybe they didn't have really the way to keep things very cool. Therefore, it was better to clarify the butter immediately, so that it was kept for a long time. Still, in the Shastras, it is explained that clarified butter is extremely important to perform ceremonies, and in Vedic sacrifices, they used to utilize a lot of ghee. It was a sign, because ghee and butter actually come from cows, and cows are really the riches of the earth and the riches of a family. Cows are the symbol of Brahmanical society, Brahmanical culture, and as you have many cows, as you can protect many cows, means that you have some elevation and some aspiration to elevation in the Brahmanical society. So a lot of clarified butter means many cows and in one sense, much devotion. Still, it is said that when you perform ritualistic ceremonies for the demigods, you have to use much more riches than for Lord Krishna himself. Lord Krishna, the Lord Narayan, is more merciful, and of course, as long as you offer nice things to the Lord, it means that you offer your devotion, your bhakti. But it is said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pusvam Phalam Taryam Yobe Bhakta Pranasyati Tadham Bhakti Uparita Masnani Prayaratmanaha. Lord Krishna actually accepts only but a flower, a leaf, some water. But what is very important is to offer with love and devotion. This is the most important ingredient. Srila Prabhupada himself was not so much in favor of complicated ritualistic ceremonies. And there was an instance that you may know, that at the inauguration of the Krishna Balaram Mandir, of course it is in India, and especially Srila Prabhupada was already very much criticized by local people who really didn't accept that Mlekshas and Yavanas could become one day Brahmins, Bhaktas. So therefore, to inaugurate the temple, the new mandir in Krishna Balaram Mandir, he had to please the local Brahmins and the local population to give them pleasure and to show that actually his movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, was a bona fide. And therefore, he made much effort in order to make a nice Vedic sacrifice with the chanting of Vedic hymns and so on and so forth. But actually, after all this was completed, in order that he didn't have so much trouble with the local population, then after this, Srila Prabhupada really asked his, let's say, his children, his bhaktas, to please make a big and huge kirtan. Because in this age of Kali, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Vakevalam, Kalo Nasti Vanasti Vanasti Vagatiranyata. The only way for liberation is to chant only the holy name of the Lord. Actually, there are quite these ceremonies, Vedic ceremonies are complicated to accomplish. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many stories actually in which there is always something wrong which is occurring during such a ceremony. For instance, because why are they so difficult? Because actually, to perform nicely a ceremony, a Vedic ceremony, you have to be very expert in the pronunciation of mantras, recitation of mantras. Mantra, mana, treya, purification of the mind. But a mantra, you have to follow a certain meter, you have a certain pronunciation, otherwise you can have the complete opposite result. We can recall a story of Vrikasura, in which there is in Indra, in which there was a big demon with red hair. I don't remember the name. Vritasura, yes, Vritasura. Yes, sixth canto, yes. The mantra was not recited properly, and then there is Vritasura appearing. Yeah, the power of mantra is very strong. As we see at the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the son of Maharaj Parikshit. What is his name? Janmajai Maharaj, yes. Actually, he performed a great sacrifice in which all the snakes, the serpents of the universe, fell down in the fire. And that sometimes it was impossible, and the sacrifice had to be stopped. Otherwise, it was a full devastation of the race of serpents. And it was not acceptable. The sacrifices in Vedic society are important, actually, in the way that they can they purify the atmosphere, definitely. And there is one devotees sometimes ask their authorities, why actually, if the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna is so important, why should we really actually perform such ceremonies? Because it is true that in this age of Kali, no one is really qualified to say the mantras. We even have some difficulties to recite the verse in proper Sanskrit. What to speak of saying elaborated mantras in the course of Vedic sacrifices. So the answer to this is actually, as although we may not be really be qualified to perform ceremonies and to recite mantras, still it helps to create a spiritual atmosphere. A spiritual atmosphere, it helps really to purify the atmosphere, and even though we may not be qualified, it may help us to chant rounds, to remember Krishna in one way or another. It is explained in the Bhagavad Gita that actually we should not, even in the renounced order of life, retire from ceremonies. Actually, it was also there was a reproach made to Srila Prabhupada that you are a sannyasi and still you are making wedding ceremonies. Well, what kind of sannyasi you are? Well, it is true that at the beginning of the movement it was for practical reason. There was no qualified devotees in order to make wedding ceremonies. And it is true that the custom was put into ISKCON like this, and anyway, it helps the whole society to be purified. The sannyasi, even though sannyasi in ISKCON is authorized to perform Vedic ceremonies, including wedding ceremonies. So the Vedic ceremony here includes many items. And there are a few steps: fasting, bathing. We offer clarified butter in the fire of sacrifice, and we give charity to the cows and to the brahmanas and members of the other orders of society. That is to say, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Yes, this is very important in Vedic society, and we can say in human society in general, to make charity, to share what we have, in order to have the whole society benefited. And we also have to make charity and to give gifts and donations to members of the society according to their position. The Vaishnava etiquette is very, very important, and to follow the proper etiquette is important because then there will be some rules and some peace in society if the proper etiquette is observed. You cannot really treat a brahmana and the kshatriyas the same way, although they are in the upper class of society. And in the Brahmanical society, we have to give charities, that is, we have to give donation to different members of the society and to give cows. And then the demigods will be pleased and Lord Krishna will be pleased. Here we see also that people for the sacrifice, they are going to put new clothes, new outfits, and this is also an important point. When you are going to meet someone important, you dress nicely, and this is a custom in India and in ISKCON temples, that on very special days, everyone dresses nicely with new dhotis, new kurtas, and new and beautiful shining saris for ladies. And here I would like to point here the sentence given by Srila Prabhupada, saying here that a sannyasi or a person about to perform a ritualistic ceremony should not dress himself in clothing sewn in a needle. Yes, a sannyasi or a person about to perform a ritualistic ceremony should not dress himself in clothing sewn with a needle. This refers to the special dress code in ISKCON. Actually, in Vaishnava society, the sewn clothes traditionally was not authorized at all. Actually, at the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Vaishnavas were supposed, men and women, to be dressed only with unsewn clothes, not with a needle. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati authorized that men put a kurta. Kurta, which we have to remember, is a typical Muslim cloth. But still, for the sake of preaching, it's more convenient to wear a kurta. And even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati himself, he dressed in Western clothes, and he was criticized for this, and go in a car and so on and so forth. So we know that Srila Prabhupada also authorized Matajis, Pujari Matajis, to go on the altar with sewn clothes, especially to cover the part of the body. And but still, traditionally speaking, it is said that we should not wear clothing sewn with a needle, and you see the pujaris nowadays, they follow very strictly this etiquette, this rule. So I think this is what we can say. Do you have any questions or comments? Yes. Everything is clear. Prabhupada says Paridaya Aharani are very significant, which means yes. Paridaya Ahatani, these are words which are pointed by Srila Prabhupada, and yes, it means new clothing and nice clothes for performance of rituals and ceremonies in general. So from now on, we should dress more nicely while going on the altar, or performing ceremonies in general. Okay? Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada Patita Pavan ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Space for Sindhu Prabhu ki.
Yeah.
Uh,